We're going to do Green Day. This is Amazing Trios Month. We're going to do Green Day. We've got two songs by them, Who Wrote Holden Caulfield and Saint Jimmy. One from their second album, Kerplunk. The other from their probably least selling album, American Idiot. Oh, no. That's their best selling album. Anyway, we'll talk about the bling when we come back. Enjoy the songs, and I will talk to you soon.
A thought burst in my head, and I need to tell you, it's news that I forethought. Was it just a dream that happened long ago? I think I just forgot. Well, it hasn't been the first time that he should have shot me here. That's when I say there's no boy who fought his world and now he's getting lazy. There's no motivation and frustration makes him crazy. It makes a plan to take a stand but always ends up sitting. Someone help him before he has gone. I end up quitting. I shuffle through my mind to see if I can find the words I left behind. Was it just a dream that happened long ago? No one ever learned. Well, it hasn't been the first time, and he should have shot me dead. That's what I did. There's no boy who fought his world and now he's getting lazy. There's no motivation and frustration makes you crazy. It makes a plan to take a stand but always ends up sitting. Someone help me before he has gone. I end up quitting. Boy who fought his world and now he's getting lazy. There's no motivation and frustration makes him crazy. He makes a plan to take a stand but always ends up sitting. Someone help him before he has gone. I end up quitting. There's a boy who fought his world and now he's getting lazy. There's no motivation and frustration makes him crazy. He makes a plan to take a stand but always ends up sitting. Someone help me before he has gone. I end up quitting. St. Jimmy's coming down across the alleyway, up on the boulevard like a zip gun on parade. Lights on the silhouette, he's insubordinate, coming at you on the count of one. Jimmy and you're better not wear out. Suicide commando that your mama talked about. Getting out the party things I'm here to represent. That need all or nothing of the establishment. On the pain track side of that denial, with an angel face and a taste for suicidal.
Hey, why is it blacked out? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. All right, well, I guess there's going to be no... I wonder if this works. Let's see. Hey, that's what live shows are all about. Anyway, this is Tune Into Life. So I accidentally deleted the thing. This was a transparency. I wonder if I can make it. No, can't do it during the show. Anyways, that's supposed to be a transparency. So that's supposed to be like a top thing where I come through. Oh, well, we make mistakes. And as you can see, I got some bling on. It says, release your creative Kraken. This is Creative Kraken shirt and my Creative Kraken mug. All are available on Maven's merch. That's Ravens with an M of ofmerch.com. And I just wanted to say hey to everybody. So we got Bertie, we got Andrew, we got Kelsey, we got Wayne. And yeah, so if you go to Maven's merch, just a shout out to Dana. I call her Queen Double D because her in the Beast Club, she has 2 Ds. Like she's the Duchess of Debauchery or something. Anyway, and I wanted to wish for Goddess number 2 from the Mavens merch. I know it was yesterday, but hey, I do my shows on Thursday. Her birthday was on Wednesday. So what can you do? What can you do? I say, you wish them late. So I practiced her name. I might mess it up. Wayne's not distracting me yet. So happy birthday, Zeneb, or the Grand Z, or Goddess Z, or whatever you want to go by. Our friend in Spain, the second half of Mavens and Merch. It was her birthday yesterday. And I told her if I was in Spain, we'd go have seafood paella and drink a little wine. But it's time for Tune Into Life, where we learn how to compose our life like a symphony. And Green Day is one of my favorite bands of all time for many reasons, one of which was mentioned if you were watching the video and watching the things. One of the reasons is, holy crap, I'm doing the captions, and they're so off. Like seafood paella came out seafood paya, P-A-Y-A. Oh well, what can you do? So I will just try to enunciate, which is very difficult for me. But I really like Green Day. One of the many reasons is that they've been together for a long time, one. From day one, they all shared writing credits, so they will copyright by Green Day. And if you ever buy a CD or look at the copyright message, most bands do not do that. In fact, there's many bands in history where that just tore apart. Supertramp being one, Queen being another. Queen stayed together, but they had battles over John Deacon wrote this. No, Brian May wrote this. No, Freddie Mercury did this. Or Freddie Mercury, but Brian May brought in all the this, that, and the other thing. So, but probably one of the biggest was Pink Floyd. Just Roger Waters has a big ego, as do most of Pink Floyd. And they probably had several great albums in them. And Roger Waters just like took all the credit, and really and truly, why wouldn't that have happened without David Gilmour, Nick Mason, or Rick Wright? But we're not talking about them. We're talking about Billy Joel. Hey, I'm the piano man. No, we're talking about Billy Joe Armstrong and the other two. Who are those guys? Who else is in Green Day? Come on, no one's going to mention it? Oh yeah, it's Zeneb's birthday. It was 10/19. That's right. Very good, Andrew. If you notice, I said it was yesterday. Today's 10/20, and so 10/19 would be yesterday. So you know what? As far as I'm concerned, I'm getting a little long in the tooth, as they say, and you can wish me happy birthday for my entire birthday month, which is now over because my birthday is September 1st. But yeah, what's it hurt? It's jolly. You connect with people, and that's it. So the first quote actually is going to be by the drummer, Trey Cool. That's not his real name, but his name is Trey Cool, so we'll keep Trey Cool. Let's see how the captioning gets on that. Oh my God, the captioning is horrible. Anyways, when I become wealthy enough to be able to hire a live captioner is when someone's actually listening to the show and they're typing it up live. It's one of the most accurate ways to do that. So in the future, I will do that because I really, really want to support the hard of hearing and deaf community, because I have several friends that are deaf and hard of hearing, and I also want to support them. It's like, hey, what's the big deal? Put captioning on so everybody can enjoy. So Trey Cool, he did the drums, backing vocals, backing vocals and songwriter. He actually also plays accordion, but I don't think he's ever played. You know what? I think there are a couple of songs where he may have played accordion on a Green Day song. Anyways, so Trey Cool is their second drummer. The first drummer actually left after their first album. So the second album was Kerplunk, and then the other song we did was from American Idiot. So both of those have Trey Cool on it. And he's actually for Journey. His name is different, but we'll just call him Trey Cool because that's what he goes by. Anyway, so school is practice for the future, and practice makes perfect. And nobody's perfect. So why bother? That is such a great quote. And this is coming from someone, it depends. If you consider dual majors 2 degrees, I have 7 degrees, but actually I have 4. But if you count dual majors, I have, 7. Anyway, we won't go there. But I mean, I'm not a stranger to educational system, but I agree with Trey Cool a little bit. And that leads to the life hack called you get better at something by doing it. I know, it sounds so simple, right? So you've heard of the School of Hard Knocks. So there's nothing wrong going to school. Here's how I kind of treat school after I got my bachelor's. The way I treated it is I would go work in industry, and then I'd do the best I could to learn by doing. And then at some point, there would be something that I was really into, like rocket science or whatever, and I'd go, gosh, there's really no one in my immediate network that knows what I need to know. So I'm going to go to school, take some classes, get a degree, and learn this better. So that's how I treat it. And someday I will tell you the philosophy I have about PhD, which is a doctor of philosophy. I think there's 2 groups of PhD, but I'm not going to talk about them. But one of them is piled higher and deeper. And those are the people that stay in academia their whole entire life. So not knocking education. Education's things, but you'll get better at something by doing it. Okay, I've been playing guitar since I've been 13 or 14, I don't really remember. But anyways, it's a very long time. And I took lessons, and the very first lessons I took was by this guy, Howie Mandel, not the comedian, not the judge on America's Got Talent, but he had been playing for 6, 7, 8 years. And then conceited little me, my mom, we didn't have a lot of money, and she bought these lessons for me from Howie Mandel. I think she paid for 6. He was in our temple, so she got a break on the price. Anyways, after about the 3rd lesson, I said, you know what? I can learn faster, better. And then I made a challenge. I go, in 6 months, I'm going to be better than Howie Mandel has been playing for 6 years. I actually did it, but I told my mom to save her money. Anyway, that's my story about playing guitar. So let's get on to the second. So that's Trey Cool, the drummer, the original drummer. So he left after the first album, and he was also in Sweet Children, which was the original Green Day. The original members of Green Day did that, and then they transitioned to Green Day. By the way, you know what Green Day means? If you were reading the captions on the video, you would notice. So Green Day is basically like a Urban Dictionary slang, started off in the Bay Area, and it basically means when you spend an entire day doing something. Not going to say what that something is, but think about it, Green Day. So the entire day you spent, that's right, smoking marijuana. Thank you. Anyways, it's kind of weird, huh? But that's where they got their name. It's weird because I would never consider Green Day slackers. I don't consider all pot smokers slackers either. Don't get me wrong. But sometimes if you toke all day long, you don't get a lot accomplished except being very, very mellow. Anyway, so we're going to go on to the second quote of the day. So the second quote is going to be by Mike Dirnt. There's an interesting story. Here, let me go back. So an interesting story about Mike Dirnt. He's been with the beginning. So I would say he and Billy Joe Armstrong were the co-founders of Green Day, Sweet Children before that. And basically, he was a guitarist because they were a 4-piece band and they were Sweet Children. He was a guitarist. So then when they started becoming Green Day and they moved into their second album and stuff, the bass player quit. And so Mike Dirnt, who was a guitarist, and he's a songwriter too. So Billy Joe, all three of them write. So, and all three of them sing. Billy Joe obviously is the head of dude. He plays guitar, does lead singing. But so Mike decided, hey, and this is the second week in a row, huh? Yes, last week's band, I can't remember. Anyways, there was another band we talked about in recent memory where the original guy was a guitarist and then they needed a bass player. So he goes, oh, I'll play bass. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, so Mike Dirnt did the same thing because I play bass and he's a pretty good bass player. He also plays keyboards. He does backing vocals. I don't think he's done lead vocals on any Green Day songs. He's done on some solo projects. Anyways, let's go to his quote. Like his quote too. Actually, what I loved doing the research for this show actually made me love the band more. So what I love about them is three guys. They share credit. Yeah, I'm sure they have egos and stuff, but they're just having a lot of fun. They're doing the music they love. They just keep on going. Oh, Lisa Marie's here. Cool. So hi, Wayne, Birdie, Andrew, who's Snack Selfie King, and Wayne and Kelsey. I think I hit everybody. And yeah, so, and I try, but as Wayne knows, I have an early bedtime. So Lisa Marie does her show at 9 p.m. on Mondays, and I'm usually nodding off already. So sorry about that, but I go when I can. And it's a really great show. So go check her out. That's Lisa Marie Hughes. And just since we're doing advertising, it seems like a really plugging. Remember, Creative Kraken made some merch. Release your Creative Kraken mug. That my whole company is going to be centered around that. Release your Creative Kraken. I know you can't see it. The lighting's kind of weird, but it says release your Creative Kraken. Anyway, so back to Mike Dirnt. So Mike Dirnt, he was a bass. Yes, exactly, Kelsey Squirrel. He was a guitarist, singer, and songwriter, and co-founder of the band. And then they lost their bass player, and he decided to become a bass player. And so he's done a great job ever since. And now, now they're kind of trying other genres, and so he's been doing keyboards and things like that. And they even had a Broadway show, which almost made me not like him for a while, just because I have a thing about like the Broadway musical Rock of Ages and stuff, where you have nothing against Broadway shows, but there's a certain style of music that goes on Broadway. And a lot of times when they do rock music on Broadway, very few exceptions, like the Who's Tommy, very hardcore, they maintain the rock feel. But a lot of times when you do a rock show on Broadway, it sounds like Broadway. I never saw American Idiot on Broadway, but I have a feeling it kind of would. Like St. Jimmy. I can't see St. Jimmy coming off like St. Jimmy. It's the second song you heard that was here today, and it's from American Idiot. So I can't imagine it was that hardcore on Broadway, but I could be wrong. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm like one of the few people who saw Hamilton and wasn't really excited about it. I mean, and that to me, that exemplifies what I'm saying. So you haven't seen Hamilton, written really well, really great story. Hamilton's one of the great American stories. It's one of my favorite stories about American history. But they try to do hip hop and R&B and stuff, and it was Broadway. It was done well. It was cool, but it just wasn't for me. So anyways, let's get to the second quote so we can get the second lap. Like, yeah, whatever, Wayne. Squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. Yeah. Squirrel. So what? It makes it more fun. Anyways, so Mike Dirnt says, listen to the silence. Listen to your life. Be present. Not just think about what's going on next week, next month. So that is really great. I say this all the time. If I were to review the 150 or whatever life hacks I did, which I'm going to probably cull them down and have a few and repeat some just because it's hitting home, but a lot of them around being present. Being present means you're not looking to the past and distracted by the past. You're not looking to the future and going, oh, here's what I want. You got to live in the present. It's okay to have goals. It's okay to envision what's the future. It's okay to look in the past and learn from the past, but you got to be in the present in order to move forward. Like each step, you see what's around you, you learn from what's around you, and you keep moving forward. And you got to listen and be present with people. That's the way you create the best relationships. You don't create relationships by like you're sitting there, like if Wayne was in the room right now, or any of you were in the room right now, and you're just like staring at it, and then Wayne's talking as he can, and he's just going blah, 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 blah. And I hear kind of like the Charlie Brown adult. And really all I'm doing is I'm waiting for him to stop talking so I can just start. I've already thought about what I was going to say, and so I'm missing half, if not all, of what he's saying. So don't do that. Be present with the person in front of you. It actually creates great relationships. It creates great connection, and through those connections, you can improve your life. You can improve the world. So, anyways, here's the life hack from that quote. So, listening and being present ensures you will experience life and people to their fullest. And what do you want to do with your life is live it to the fullest, the best you can, the most you can, so you can enjoy it. And so, and I did a recent post on LinkedIn. It's like, do I ever get in a funk? Of course I do. Do I ever complain? Yes, I do. And all these things. But you know what? I always get back up and I always come back stronger. So I do all those things. They're momentary until I engage my brain and be present. By the way, that's how I get out of it. It's like, you know what? Wow, Uncle Sam needs a lot of money from me. Holy crap, I don't make that much money. So what am I going to do? That's going to take me a while. So I'll just be present, keep my head down, keep working towards that goal until I pay Uncle Sam off. Oh my God, I got a lot of debt over here. I better focus on that, get it down. By the way, just in case, if you care, debt free in 23. That's my motto. Yeah, I'll still have a mortgage and stuff, but everything else, my student loans, and I'm not getting any help from Biden. I don't qualify because I didn't have a Pell Grant, even though my mom didn't make any money. I just was too smart and got some scholarships and things like that. But anyway, just be present. To me, if I had to pick of all the 150 life hacks that we've gone through already on Tune Into Life, this is episode 49. And so just being present, some form of that. If you start there, you're going to have a great life. You're going to be present. You're going to feel things. We quit it with the squirrel already? Jeez. And yes, The Offspring, I'll probably have a song from The Offspring before the end of the year. It won't be an 80s hair band month, but it'll be something. So I know you're all waiting. It's like, what about Billy Joe? Not Billy Joel. Billy Joe Armstrong. What about Billy Joe Armstrong? When people think of Green Day, most people think of him. Well, guess what? It's a trio. They're equally talented. They equally write the music. So yeah, Billy Joel is great. Billy Joe, not Billy Joel. Billy Joe is great. So here's the quote from Billy Joe. It's like, you know what? Okay, I got to blow this up because my timer is right in front of it. So set lists are tough because you come up with the structure of how the songs are going to go from one to the next. But at the same time, you have to be spontaneous and take requests and change the set list at the drop of a hat. So if you've ever been in a band, yes, you practice a lot, you do a set list and things like that. And granted, I wasn't in a band who had like 10 studio albums. We had an EP, we had one studio album, and then I think I recorded like 100 songs. So none of which went anywhere. Well, one went somewhere. One got originally listened to, not necessarily successful. But yeah, so what you will find is that you have a set list, and then you have all these things, and then you have like old bands, new bands, future fans, people that you make fans of just by coming to that. And so you have a set list, and you're like, oh, these are the most popular songs we play. This is what someone's going to like. But if you have a catalog like, say, the Kinks or the Rolling Stones or Green Day or anybody that has probably 6 or more good to great albums, people are going to want songs from each of those things. And if you learn how to play them all, Rush used to be great at that. So they had a set list. Then occasionally they mix it up and go, hey, we haven't played this from our first album in a long time. So you got to allow space for spontaneity. Because spontaneity, to me, spontaneity is very important. And that leads to the third life hack for this show. And that would be success isn't always about following the plan. You can plan all you want, but you have to be open to spontaneity. Oh, I froze up there for a second. I wonder why that happened. Oh, you know what? I must have clicked. Okay. Anyway, yes, squirrel. Go ahead. Put another squirrel up. Motley Crue, whatever. Um, so yeah, you got to allow for spontaneity. In fact, I'm pretty good at spontaneity, letting things happen, being present, and it actually being present helps you be spontaneous because then you're in the now, and then you're going, okay, what can I do based on these circumstances, based on the people around me? What can I do that's fun or cool, or get everybody together and join together and build a relationship. So I had someone I used to work for. She was also one of my best friends for a very long time, and she, I think it was at a lunch or something. She goes, "You're one of the most spontaneous people that I know that's in my life. And so I want you to help me figure out how to be spontaneous." And I swear to God, she said, "Let's get together for dinner on Thursday at 7 p.m. at, the XYZ restaurant, and you can teach me how to be spontaneous." And my first, after I finished laughing, I looked her in the face, in the eye, and I'm like saying, okay, first lesson in spontaneity. You can't plan a week in advance, the place in advance, the time in advance, the food you're going to eat in advance. That's not spontaneous. So that's the first lesson. There's no problem. It's planning. We've got a plan. And then guess what? Most plans blow up in your face. Something happens, and then you got to be spontaneous anyway. What planning does for you, at least what it does for me, it gives you confidence into knowing what you can stand forward, what your next step is going to be. You take that step, then something happens. You look around what happens. If what happens is indicative and productive and supports your goal and moving forward, then you can continue forward. If it's anything else, if there's any deviation that'll take you away from what you wanted, then you assess the situation and you adjust. Being present, being spontaneous. Okay, so let's review the life hacks. Shall we? Yes, we shall. You get better at something by doing it. So just like the school of hard knocks, it's not that school doesn't teach you stuff. School teaches you stuff, but you learn by doing something and then getting better, improving each time you do it. And then listening and being present ensures you will experience life and people to their fullest. So just be present, check out what's around you, let it all in, good, bad, indifferent. Be present with the people, listen to what they're saying. If you don't understand what's saying, then your next thing shouldn't be promoting what your thoughts are, but engaging with them and figuring out, hey, what are you saying? And there's like a communication model. It's like message sent, and then what the person that receives it says what they received, and then the person that sent it goes, that's not quite it. Then you go back and forth until message received is the message you intended to send. And it also can evolve from that too. And then the third one is success isn't always about following the plan. You plan all you want, but you have to be open to spontaneity. And so those are the 3 life hacks we learned from Green Day, Who Wrote Holden Caulfield, and then St. Jimmy. And the story of them, the 3 guys sticking together, sharing song credits, really enjoying making the music they make. Started off in punk, going off into other genres, coming back to punk, which is why I picked St. Jimmy, by the way, because I think St. Jimmy is probably the hardest hardcore song on American Idiot, which has a bunch of mellower songs and things like that. And they're experimenting with genre, but I really like their punk stuff, so that's why I picked it. And then, as always, living your best life creates a better world for everyone. So be present, learn by doing, and be spontaneous. And by doing those 3 things, you'll probably live your best life because you'll be in touch with your passion, in touch with your emotions, in touch with your thoughts, in touch with the situation and circumstances around you. And then you can move forward and create the life you want to create, which is what it's all about. We're here to learn how to compose your life like a symphony. A symphony is a beautiful thing. It's multiple instruments. It's a mixed salad. It's not a melting pot. It's a mixed salad. That all the individual ingredients maintain their flavor, but together they produce an amazing flavor that combines all the flavors of the other thing while keeping that distinction. And that's what I want for you. That's what I want for the world. And I'm going to now play the copyright thing. And I'll see you all next week. That'll be the last week of Amazing Trios. And it's going to be Jimi Hendrix Experience. That'll be cool. I haven't decided what song, but he's going to be the last of the trios. I might be bring trios back early next year because there's just a ton of trios of 3 people making lots of music. I've done Rush in the past, but I would probably do Rush again. Definitely want to do Triumph. I really like Triumph. They had a couple of hits. I really like Rick Emmett. I think he's a great singer and a good to great guitarist. And they're from Canada as well. They just didn't make it as big as Rush. I think because Rush kind of kept evolving and Rick Emmett and Triumph kind of stuck to one genre, one feel. Anyway, so with that, I'm going to, oh yeah, that's what I was talking about. That's right, Squirrel, somebody write Squirrel again. So the next week will be the last Amazing Trios. And then on Halloween, I haven't decided if it's going to be Halloween Eve or Halloween. I said the 50th show, I'm going to do my own song. No, 50th show is going to be Jimi Hendrix. And then either Halloween Eve, which is Sunday, or Halloween, which is on a Monday, I think, I'm going to do a show on my own song. So it'll be a special edition of Tune Into Life. And it's a time in my life there was a lot of turmoil, a lot of crap going on. And it's actually a song about suicide and working through suicide and getting over the suicidal thinking. So it's a really good song. It's before grunge, but it kind of has a grunge feel. Yes, I'm that old. And then we'll get into, I don't know if I'm going to call it 80s hair band month, but next month will be, the guys wearing the stilettos and the things like Motley Crue, like Wayne was talking about. But Wayne will be a guest either 1, 2, 3. He's welcome to come on all 4 shows. I don't know if he'll be able to do that, but he'll probably come as a character too. Not that he isn't a character, he'll come as a character. So just get out there, learn these life hacks, compose your life like a symphony, be present, be spontaneous, and learn by doing. And I will end the show as I always end it, and that is with a little blurb about how I use songs, copyrighted material, but it's in the purpose of education and it's not for profit. So I will see you all on the morrow. Have a great weekend. Thank you all for showing up. Birdie, Wayne, Kelsey. Let's see if I remember everybody. Andrew. Who did I forget? Kelsey. Did I say Kelsey? Yeah, Kelsey. Lisa Marie. Can't forget Lisa Marie. Well, those are the only people that said stuff. So thanks for coming. I always appreciate it. And yes, you guys distract me, but that kind of makes half the fun for me, being distracted and then see if I can come back. And by the way, this is kind of how I live my life. Even when I'm doing training, I'll go on rabbit trails, be diverted by a squirrel, but I always come back and make the final point. So have a great life. See you next week. Talk to you later. Blue Oyster Cult's a 70s band. I know they had hits in the 80s, but they're not going to be 80s hair band. Anyway, we'll talk. It'll be special. We'll have coffee. Talk to you later. Bye.